We are growing, guys. Welcome back to my playthrough of Cities Skyline. This is episode 6 now. Oh, this is so much fun. Last episode, we started looking at trying to level up some of these buildings. We bought this new tile up here, and we're expanding out. And that's what we're going to do at the start of this episode here, is just keep zoning in some of this commercial up here. I'll just throw in some of that, keep them happy. Alright, then what we need to look at in this episode is definitely need to take a look at our education. If you look here, some of these buildings here, like this one here, this symbol means not enough educated workers. That's even for our commercial areas aren't getting enough workers. So I think it's definitely time that we pop in at least another high school here. This is all red up here. So that's what we're going to do here right at the start of this episode, is we're going to put in a new high school just right here. I think that's going to help educate some more of our workers so that we can start filling in those higher education jobs. We're going to leave this on 3 speed just so that we can educate them all a little bit faster. Alright, and then we're going to need more commercial. Looks like we have really high commercial demand right now, so let's keep on filling this in. And see how that goes. There we go. Alright, that's all filling in there. Now, I still, even though I have fire care, whenever I get these burned down buildings like I do here, there's no way for these burned down buildings to ever go away. I have to actually bulldoze them. And then a new building can just grow in there. Now, that's not true for like the abandoned buildings, these ones here. Eventually, these buildings will repopulate. But if I did want to just bulldoze them, what I found is a lot of times if you do just bulldoze them, they tend to repopulate a little bit faster. If you look over here, like I think this building over here was abandoned previously, but now it's all back up and functioning. Alright, so these guys are all coming in. Are all filling in very nicely. Wow, look at that residential demand spike. Alright, let's fill in some of that. And we'll just keep expanding this here. I'll add some spurs and stuff here soon. Just need to cope with the sheer volume of people that want to move in. These are good problems to have, guys. Too many people are moving in. Oh no! Yeah, we're already up to 7,800. We're gonna get a milestone soon. Awesome. Actually, I think this next milestone, isn't this the one where we get, oh, it is. We're about to unlock all of our high density stuff. Oh, that's gonna completely change the game. Oh, that's exciting. Alright, so let's bulldoze some of these buildings down here while we get ready for that. And here we are! We are a big town. This is probably the biggest milestone in the entire game. I don't think anything in the entire game is as significant as this milestone. This is when we really start growing. We get a new area to help, and then we get some new taxation policies, which they're kind of silly. They're like the same as the normal tabs. I haven't really noticed the use of those. We get some more unique buildings. We get the metro. I love the metro. The metro's awesome. It lets you just throw in underground tunnels just like you would see in like New York and Manhattan. And places like that where you can just do this underground metro system throughout your entire city and play around with that. And then we got these new policies as education boost. We might need to turn that on for a little bit just until we can recover from negligence. But this is the big thing. High density residential zones, high density commercial zones, and office zones. These are awesome. These things are how you get skyscrapers in your city. They are amazing. This high density residential will allow for like apartment buildings and big, tall, like multi-family buildings. Typically you'll get like young adults in them, and then once they grow up and go get families, they'll move over into the low density suburbs. So these are things that you want to put right in the heart of your city. And then you got like the high density commercial. These are like department stores and supermarkets and like really large like hotels and things like that. They aren't really, in terms of like demographic and stuff, they're no different from the low density. The point is that there's a lot of, it's what it sounds like, it's high density. So if you're putting in high density commercial, you want to put it near high density residential zones so that all those people have places, the higher number of people have places to go. Otherwise you're going to get problems where, you know, like they don't have enough goods to sell and things like that because the high density residential demand's too great. And then offices provide a new source of industry. So if we were looking at all those industry buildings before, remember I was mentioning a lot of that is really lower education. Well, the offices are mostly higher education. Once we start banging out our universities and things like that, these offices will become really awesome and we'll be able to fill that up. But conversely, if we start zoning an office right now with our education where it is now, no one's going to be able to work there. They're going to complain that they don't have any educated workers, and that's just going to really hurt us. But the office zones count as additional industry. And there's some really cool things you can do with office. I've got some nice tips and tricks that you can that'll show you with those once we start laying that in. Right, so we got some new buildings. We got the metro station like we were talking about before. The university, that'll help us get some highly educated workers so that we can get for our high-level industry as well as our offices. And then the incineration plant. This thing is awesome. This thing is incredibly efficient. And I think that's the first thing we're gonna do is pump in a bunch of these. If we look at our landfills, these ones here, this one's 90% full, this one's 91% full, and this one's been full. Pretty soon, these aren't going to be doing anything anymore. So we're going to have a garbage problem on our hand in just a couple minutes, unless I do something. So let's pop in some incineration plants, and we'll see how those work here. Let's just run a really ugly road out here, and then connect it up there, and then connect it down there, and I'm actually going to keep these really far away if I can. So let's actually page up, and that's something I haven't really done yet. You can page up, and that'll create bridges so that you can bridge over existing roads, and then you can page back down, and that'll complete the off-ramp. And then I'm going to run this road all the way over here, kind of near these electrical plants. You'll see why in a second. There we go, and then I'll go over to my garbage tab. And then this incineration plant. I'm just going to pop in like 3 of these guys right here. And now the reason I'm putting them by the electrical grid is, well, a couple reasons. First of all, these are actually my water pumps, so I can just run the water out right here, and they're good for water. And then the other reason is, these guys actually generate electricity. Look at this power output. Right now it's at 0 megawatts. But once these garbage trucks, and they're already sending out a fleet. Once these garbage trucks start bringing back garbage, I'm going to start generating electricity with these. That is going to be awesome. These things actually process garbage. They're not going to fill up like my landfills do. They're just going to keep working and generating power. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plant in another 3 of these. I love these buildings. And then look at how far this extends. This extends my entire city already. I mean, eventually I might have to put in like a couple up here just to get these last guys. But look, everybody's green. Everybody's in range of this. And I put this at the farthest part of my city. These things are just incredibly powerful buildings. Right. Oh my god, I'm in debt. How did that happen? What did I... Okay, these things cost 30,000 a place. And so by placing 6 of those, I just completely blew through all of my money. I think. I'm only making 600. Jesus Christ. Okay, maybe I went a little overboard with the garbage. Let's take a look at that really quick. I am spending 7,000 on garbage. Okay, let's dial that back some. And then, yeah, I definitely put out too much garbage. I am completely in debt now. Right, well, what I was gonna do was empty these buildings here, And they're gonna go and empty all of this over to the incineration plant, so then eventually I'll be able to delete these, because it won't let me delete them until after they're emptied. So they're all emptying. Looks like my economy problems are starting to fix themselves. But, yeah, that was a little scary. Alright, so now I do have some residential and some commercial demand. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start putting in some high density. And I'm going to do that by actually de-zoning some of this existing residential. And I'm going to do it very, very little at a time. Because if you notice, like, I'm literally kicking people out of their houses as I do this. And so if you can imagine, kicking people out of their houses doesn't make them very happy, and they start leaving. So our population is going to start growing a lot slower as I go through this process. But in the end, it's really going to help. It's just this initial trying to get through it process. It's going to be hard. And the other reason is to maintain my electrical grid as I'm doing this transition. And I'm actually going to extend some high density commercial out here. And I continue it outward this way. And I'm really, really paying attention to my population and my money as I'm doing this. Especially after I kind of screwed up with that garbage and my bank balance was hurting a lot. But I think the bank's starting to recover. But see, I've already got people, my population's dropping. And that's not because I'm not getting new people, it's because I'm literally displacing people by kicking them out of their houses. So, let's actually crank this up to full speed here. Then I'm going to do just this next little, I'm actually going to use the smaller, well, let's use this marquee tool, how about that? And then I'll just dezone this square here, and then rezone it in with high density. There we go. Yes, I've noticed I can now zone office, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. So I'll just keep going like this. Just doing one square at a time here. And try and get all this upgraded. Little at a time. I'm actually probably going too fast. Maybe not. I've got pretty high demand. Yeah, that's all popping right back in really quickly. Just keep going then. It is possible if you did like a whole big swath all at once, or even like what I did one time is I just did the entire center of my city all at the same time. I had huge problems. It took me a very long time to recover from that. Just waiting for this all to repopulate was completely tedious. And so that's something that you want to watch out for. It is possible to do this too quickly. And you will cause yourself problems down the road if you do that. Let's dezone all of that and rezone it as high density. Alright. Now the reason this is working is because, like I said, these high density, like look here, I've got 6 out of 7 households here on this level 1 high density building, whereas this level 2 building has only 2 households. So I'm able to hold a lot more people in the high density buildings, even if they're lower level. And so even though I'm keeping the same area, it's still meeting up with my demand just because it's it allows more people to live here. So let's just keep this up, fill all this up here. The other thing is because I'm kicking people out of their houses like this, any of these like educated people that happen to be living here, they're all gonna get kicked out and have to move. And then in their place, I'm getting uneducated new people to the town who aren't educated at all. So all the progress I've made on my education, which admittedly wasn't a whole lot, is all just getting undone. And that, with that in mind, was part of the reason why I held off on my education for so long. Because I knew I was just going to be undoing it down the road anyways as I upgraded this all to high density. Another thing you could have done to just kind of eliminate this problem entirely is started out with like a suburb in mind. Like knowing that this is going to be my low density area. and it's kind of off to the side and say, okay, later on, I'm gonna make my main city like down here or something. So then you wouldn't have to rezone everything. You'd be able to just keep what you've got as a suburb and then make your main high density city somewhere else. And that's actually probably a better strategy than what I'm doing here. But I mean, doesn't really matter. It's all going to the same place in the end. It's just how you get there. That is the journey. Alright, so we'll just keep this up then. There we go. There we go. Some more squares. Keeping up with this. Let's do this big square right here. Cool. And then we got some more commercial needs. What are these guys? And so see, these guys want now highly educated people. This is the high density commercial. Because it's already level 2 because it's near this park and stuff. So I might actually think about... Can I afford a university right now? I really can't. But you know, universities cover a huge area. So I might just pop in like one university like right here. That should be good. Space is already occupied. Oh, I put my other school there. Alright, let's just put it then like right there. There we go. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Alright. Some of these guys, look at everybody leveling up. Wow. Wow. Alright. Let's just carry on then. Some more of this rezoned. I've still got demand. So... And you guys will see once this is done repopulating, it is going to look awesome. You can already see this is kind of a nice, bigger skyline that's coming in already. Especially when you compare it to like this low density stuff over here. I do have some people complaining about garbage already, but nobody's going to the red. It's really, these white icons you don't really have to worry about. It's once they start getting to red. That's when they're actually having a problem. So I probably will end up putting a secondary ancillary garbage facility like way over here. But that's a lot of people. I'm probably gonna worry about that soon. But I mean, it's nothing to worry about yet. The other reason is it is quite a drive. So if you imagine the garbage trucks have to leave out and then pick up the trash and then drive all the way back and then go all the way back out. But I mean, there's a ton of these garbage trucks going. Look at this road. This is like garbage lane. In fact, let me show you a cool thing we can do really quick. I can take this zoning tool, and then I can take the small brush, and just kind of start it on this road. Oh, that was a terrible example. But yeah, I can just take it on this road and just follow the road. This whole, that was bad. There we go. But it makes it really easy to follow the road as long as you can have somewhat of a steady hand, which apparently I can't. We can go all the way. I don't mean to do that. Come on. It should be easier. There we go. This is a long road. Almost there. There we go. And right there. Alright. Then what I can do is I can rename this Garbage Lane. There we go. And I can set like cool policies for Garbage Lane and everything. Like, it's so much fun. I can do anything. Anything I want. So many options in this game. Alright. Cool, cool. So I think in the next episode we will look at creating a secondary incineration facility just to kind of help out a bit. I think Garbage Lane is going to be good enough long term, but just to help us get there in the short term, we'll probably put in another one of that. We're going to continue upgrading our existing zones to high density so that we can have more people move in and improve the skyline, make it look really cool. And we are definitely going to continue with our education. Looks like our economy's rebounded after putting in Garbage Lane. Upgrading to the high densities brought us up to nearly 10,000 residents. So all of that we'll be able to check out in our next episode, guys. Be sure to check it out. Thanks for watching.